Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau looks set to lose power early next year.
People are right to be angry.
A key ally says he plans to move to bring down the minority Liberal government and trigger an election. New Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh has been helping keep Trudeau in office. On Friday, he said he would present a formal motion of no confidence at the end of January.
So will the Prime Minister acknowledge he has failed? He has to quit.
If all of the opposition parties back it, Trudeau will be out of office after more than 9 years, and an election would take place. Trudeau's government was plunged into crisis after Chrystia Freeland, the previous finance minister, resigned in the midst of a policy clash over spending. About 20 Liberal legislators are openly calling for him to step down. The crisis is unfolding at a critical time. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is due to take office on January 20th and is promising to impose a 25% tariff on all imports, which would badly hurt Canada's economy. Trudeau's Liberal Party has already been suffering from voter fatigue and anger over high prices and a housing crisis. A string of polls over the last year and a half show Trudeau's Liberals would be badly beaten by the opposition Conservatives. They've been calling for an election for months.
We're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else.
President-elect Donald Trump said on Sunday that the U.S. could reassert control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American Passage.
The principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
Trump made the comments at America Fest, an annual event organized by Turning Point, an allied conservative group. They came hours after he leveled a similar threat against Panama in a Saturday night post on Truth Social. Panamanian President Jose Raul Mulino reaffirmed the country's sovereignty over the canal in a recorded statement on X, adding that Panama's sovereignty and independence are non-negotiable. The U.S. largely built the canal and administered territory surrounding it for decades. Accords were signed in 1977 that paved the way for the canal's return to full Panamanian control. The U.S. handed over control in 1999. The waterway accounts for 2.5% of global seaborne trade and is critical to U.S. imports of autos and commercial goods by container ships from Asia, and for U.S. exports of commodities, including liquefied natural gas. Trump also warned that he would not let the canal fall into, quote, the wrong hands.
It was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there?
China does not control or administer the canal, but a subsidiary of Hong Kong-based CK Hutchison Holdings has long managed two ports located on the Caribbean and Pacific entrances to the waterway. It is not clear how Trump would seek to regain control over the canal. His comments underline an expected shift in U.S. diplomacy under Trump, who has not historically shied away from threatening allies and using bellicose rhetoric when dealing with counterparts. They are also an exceedingly rare example of a U.S. leader saying he could push a sovereign country to hand over territory.
Kim Seung-hwan stands up from his wheelchair. He's assisted by the wearable exoskeleton robot he helped develop. It's called the Walk-On Suit F1, and it can walk up to people with paraplegia like him and lock itself onto them, enabling the individual to walk, maneuver obstacles, and climb staircases. The suit was created by the exoskeleton laboratory team at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. Weighing around 110 pounds, it's made from aluminum and titanium and is powered by 12 electronic motors. Those motors simulate the movements of human joints while walking. Fellow researcher Park Jong-soo said he was inspired by the movie Iron Man.
After I watched Iron Man, I thought it would be great if I could help people with a robot in real life. Our robot is equipped with a camera on the front, for users like those with paraplegia. Sensory abilities of the lower body are naturally more limited compared to others. The camera compensates for this lack of sensory ability. For instance, it can detect the height of stairs in front or identify obstacles in the path and help the user to avoid them.
그런 역할을 하게 되는 것입니다.
He said the robot sensors process about 1,000 signals per second to maintain the user's balance. The goal is to create a robot that seamlessly integrates into the daily lives of individuals with disabilities, with the next step being to develop a robot to adapt to real-world conditions. Kim piloted the suit at the most recent Cyberthon competition, where it won gold in the exoskeleton category.
An upcoming Taiwanese TV drama, 0 Day, promises to show Taiwanese audiences what a war with China might look like. It's an unprecedented production, confronting a topic that remains too sensitive for many Taiwanese filmmakers and with creators facing indirect censorship from China. The 10-episode series is set to be released next year, but an extended trailer released in July has already set off buzz in Taiwan, where residents have for many years considered a war with China unlikely. In recent years, though, China has stepped up war games, simulated attacks, and blockades of the island. Beijing maintains democratically governed Taiwan is Chinese territory, while the government in Taipei rejects that claim. The trailer for 0 Day focuses on several imagined scenarios should a war between China and Taiwan break out. It teased a global financial collapse, the activation of Chinese sleeper agents, and panicked residents trying to flee the island.
没有自由.
Without freedom, Taiwan is not Taiwan, says a fictional Taiwan president in a speech, urging unity after declaring war on China. The live feed gets cut off, replaced by a Chinese state television anchor who tells Taiwanese to surrender and to report hidden pro-independence activists to landing Chinese soldiers. Speaking to Reuters, showrunner Zheng Xinmei said Taiwanese should confront the fear of invasion, rather than pretend it will never happen.
When we plan this drama, we hope to make people think, would they trade away their freedoms for power or for an enormous sum of money? When faced with the temptation, what will the Taiwanese people choose?
But for the series crew, confronting the idea in fiction has meant real challenges, from funding and casting to finding places to film. Zheng said more than half of the crew of 0 Day asked to be anonymous on the crew list. Some, including a director, pulled out of production at the last minute over worries it might jeopardize their future work in China or the safety of family members working there.
Those of us who worked on this production hope that this drama, which tackles such a taboo topic, becomes popular. That would open a door for other creators to not be too concerned about the China issue.
For many Taiwanese artists and entertainers, China is a much larger and lucrative market for film and television. But Beijing has regularly called out Taiwan artists who are seen as violating China's political ideology or have threatened to blacklist those unwilling to cooperate.